you need truth, this is the place for you. No need to complicate it, it's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences, let love heal all that's broken. If you need truth, this is the place for you. No need to complicate it, it's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences, let love heal all that's broken.
And shalom aleichem. Good day to each and every one of you. So glad to have you with us today. This is yours truly, Apostle V.W. Jones. We are here on what is known as the actual proceeding word. And we are here today with a great opportunity to share with you what we know is the gospel of our Savior, who is Yeshua HaMashiach, and all things that are him, and how to live out those elements and practicalities that do make us where we need to be at in him at all times. So we want to make sure that we get opportunity to go through a few things very quickly. Welcome to the proceeding word, first off, because during the proceeding word, you have learned so much, and we know that we are all learning a great deal. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we found out that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh, who was our Elohim. And this coming Wednesday, again, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be here on what is known as Darash Kingdom Ministries, where we teach and we go over the Bible studies and or some of the topics of major conversation within our ministry of Darash Kingdom Ministries. Then we study the writ to that end. And then Thursdays, we're here for the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Bible Book Club. You'll be blessed with that. Please don't miss that opportunity. And then, of course, we are Sabbath keepers. And if you do keep Sabbath, you want to be here for Sabbath Midrash studies. If you need the truth, I promise you, this is the place to be. And for those of you who have been always wondering how you can be a part of this ministry and work with this ministry, go to what is known as vwjministries.com, and we'll bring all those things current for you so you can understand what to do with that and how it works in your life. And then, of course, we always have, as every week is clearly, we have the Morrow After Sabbath service. Morrow After Sabbath service usually starts around 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're here for all the smoke, and we want you to be here to smoke that with us as well. As my apostle used to say back in the day, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Well, welcome, everybody. Glad to have you. I know that it is also, I don't like dating these programmings, but I know there is a holiday that America is having right now called, I think it's Memorial Day. I don't think, I know it's Memorial Day. So we do honor all the memories of the sacrifices that were made to make America free, land of the free, home of the brave. And yes, America has a bunch of its own issues, but it is still, I believe, in my vast travels of this globe, for an African-American descendant of slaves, it is still the greatest planet to be on in light of its stark, dark history. And so we want to make sure that that thing is made very clear and helpful to all of you today, that this is clearly what we believe and understand. And we do speak to those who have given their lives and made sacrifices for this country and for this nation. And we do pray that everyone gets the opportunity to, in fact, memorialize what was done to make this the great nation that it is, contrary to many people's opinions and all the different attacks that come after this great nation. For you as an African-American descendant of slaves, you're not going to find many better places for you to live, in spite of all the things that you have to say about this great country and about this great nation. So at the end of the day, let's look at what is conversation for us to discuss today in this time and in this space. Well, welcome everybody. Come on up. Moderators, please mod the rooms as best you can for us. Make sure that everybody is up. I got a lot of in front of our office here, a lot of the landscapers doing what they do out there. I got a quick subject for you. Quick subject for you. And I want you to let me know what you think about it. I want you to engage on this one. Clubhouse, you're open. If you have microphones, you can come off if you so desire. Say your name, and we'll make those points very clear for you. But I got a question for you. How many people, and this happened today, I came up with this subject today while laying in my bed, resting on a national holiday of America, anyway, a Memorial Day holiday. And I was just resting, wondering where I'm gonna go get me a hamburger and some some baked beans and some coleslaw or some real good Southern potato salad with some egg and celery and the pickle and the mustard and the mayo. Man, listen, I am so hungry. So as I was sitting there thinking, I said, well, let me get everything ready to go down to the office and go down to the studio and get going for the proceeding word today. And I pulled my whole, list of, scheduled programming. I have scheduled programming for you guys like 6-8 months out. And so I said today, I just feel like being off the cuff today. And I was having a conversation with a great woman of faith. And then I was talking with another man of faith. And when we got done with the conversations, I was like, that's it. Because the question was, what do you think about what's going on in today's society? And not society, but specifically about a particular person. And it stemmed this thought for me. One, I don't do gossip. Two, I don't get into what is popping in the media, what has gone viral in the media, because the media works off of a mob mentality, and then we work off of a rush to judgment based on a mob's view of a situation no one knows about. And yet we got so much to say accurately, as we think, about something we're so inaccurate about. We don't have all the information, but if you hear certain people speak about it and talking heads and pundits, you will think that they know every situation going on. I'm considered an influencer, and before I speak about any matters on the planet, I need both sides of the story. I'm led that way because of the kingdom perspective. And the kingdom way, not the church or Christian way, is to not run tell that. The kingdom way says that he who answers any matter before he or she hears both sides brings folly or shame to themselves. Meaning, when you go run tell a story, one, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Two, may have happened around you. Three, you wasn't there when it went down, and you don't know all that led up to it, what it precipitated, and all this that goes, why it precipitated the way that it did. You don't understand all those factors, but yet you heard something that morally hit your righteous indignation, and you feel you have an opinion about a moral demonstration, but you don't know the backdrop for why anything happened. So many people get names besmirched, reputations destroyed, character shredded because of a person's opinion about a matter they didn't see for themselves, but they saw a demonstration or a actual manifestation that left you with a moral compass to say that morally is inaccurate, but you don't know the lead up, you don't know the build up, you don't know all that made the story. So as I was talking with both of these beautiful individuals of faith, very steeped in the word. And I was like, it's weird because we have to be very careful. Though the news media has people in the news, my job as a pastor and a counselor and a mentor to other leaders, I've come to find out that many of us who have broad shoulders take the brunt of what people think about what they think we did. And then 10, 15 years later, they find out why it was done. And then they justify, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, but you was talking like you knew it back 10 years ago. But now that you know the whole story, oh, I didn't know that. So my thing is, I'm always careful. I don't want to speak about anything that hits the news, anything that is running in the rumor mill, until I've heard all the data, until I have all the facts, until I know the whole situation in its it's truth, because you don't know what was going on behind the scenes, you know. And I even told my daughter, I said to my daughter when she when she was growing up and she was going to college and she was going to be dating. And I've always told this to my nieces and my cousins, anybody who I protect, anybody who's in my heart. I'll tell them, listen, to my daughter, you know, I said, hey, if you come to me and tell me that this man put his hands on you, she knows my temper. She knows who I am. She knows the guy under this smile most of you get. But she knows how, when it comes into protect mode, the pit bull, Rottweiler, German Shepherd in me comes out, and he ain't trying to die. You know, ironically, I can't say that online, but anyway, so if my daughter comes to me, and this is a protocol in our life, if my daughter comes to me or anyone who I care about comes to me and says, hey, this man put his hands on me, my guns are drawn. And yes, I'm always loaded and ready to go. My guns are drawn. I'm coming to your defense. But before I actually pull the trigger, I'm going to ask you what happened. I need both sides of this story. No man should ever touch a woman. I don't care who you are, what you are. No woman should ever touch a man. Stop getting it twisted. No man should touch another man. I got my space. You got yours. Deal with that. Now, no person has a right to hit another person. Assault and battery are not necessary. And unfortunately, we have normalized that in our world. And we've also erroneously normalized just because a woman says she got hit. You believe her when she says she got hit, but you find out the why. You believe her when she says, hey, I was dealt with this way, but you find out the why. You believe him when he says he was dealt with wrongly, right? Find out the why. But we have this normal element that masculinity and femininity are on different standards, and we got to stop that. So let me get to the point of why we're here. That's another conversation for another day. But when my daughter or any of you who I protect would come to me and say, hey, I was such and so hit me. All the troops is being called up. All the resources are coming down. It's going to be doomsday on whoever. But before I, as general, hit the go command, I need to know the whole story. Because I told my daughter, I said, I know you're me in a skirt. So I know my temper back when I had you, and I know you incorporate that in your own lifestyle. That's you. I'm you. You're me 2.0. So I know if you get angry or you get upset, the ability for your temper to take over. I need to make sure he didn't defend himself against the me and you, because the me and you got upset at what he said, and then he responded because you started the issue physically, and then you want to tell me, oh, he hit you after you may have. Don't tell me you hit him first, because now it's a whole different conversation. Does that make sense, everybody? Talk to me if y'all out there on Clubhouse or Facebook. Let me know.
Yes, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Everybody follow that? Y'all don't think I'm being too deep on it? Okay, so here's what we want to make sure we get, because if he's responding to the me and you, we got a problem, because you would be wrong, right? So, and that's just having some humor with it. But the point is, I want to know both sides of the story. I need to know both sides of the story before I actually, because you came to me for help, before I make this judgment to help you, I need to know that I'm justified in helping you, and not just because I'm emotional about you, the fact that you were injured. Because you can give self-infliction. You can make yourself, you can give your own, you know, you can self-inflict yourself and then try to justify it, because we got some crazy people out here who are, one of the phrases I love to use, and I know someone's trying to steal it, but there is a phrase that I use. I made it up. Nobody else made this up. This is a VWJ phrase and quote, and if I got to trademark it, I will. But I'm having a problem now that I've done so many case studies and have so many counseling files and my own personal experiences of what we call people who will be complicit in a situation and then turn victim. I call them complicit victims. I got a problem with it. But the question that came up earlier today was that, you know, how do I feel about what's happening? What do I think about what's happening? And I told the person, I said, I think I'm gonna keep my mouth shut now that this particular case of this well-known celebrity is in the news. Now that it's in the court systems, let the court systems bring out all the facts before I ever speak on it. Because I need, if I'm going to be asked to weigh in, which probably ain't, it really ain't my business. But I know how we are as Christians. We nosy. Anybody going to admit Christians is nosy? Nobody going to take the chance to say Christians is nosy. We want to know everything and then say God said, God did, God said. So at the end of the day, because our nature is nosy, because we're, as treacherous said, from naughty by nature, we just naughty by nature. Y'all don't want to talk about me. Y'all don't want to talk with me, but that's what it is. We just naughty by nature. Y'all was born in Adam. Adam was in you. You Adam 2.0. You nosy. That's why he ate the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because he nosy. You ain't got to like it. It's just a fact, but it hit different when you hear it that way, don't it? Okay, so we just some nosy people, all right? And you know, everybody in everybody's business, the earth you're looking at, why she got that dress on like that? The mother like, well, why she need a slip on, child? Don't they know about slips today? Well, you nosy. Stop looking at the woman. You worried about, and we just nosy. So anyway, before I weigh in on anything, I need to know the whole story. Okay, if everybody's talking about it, let the information be handled through the court systems, because they will have what they call discovery. They unearth all the facts. And so once they have all the facts, just like you got all the rumors, let all the facts bear out. Because I remembered myself being accused of something early in ministry, and the person I think I was buying houses, and I bought them the house. As a matter of fact, I bought their house back for them. They lost it in foreclosure. I went and bought it back when I was doing investing, and I surprised them with it. We worked out a situation, gave them a scenario where let's just say their mortgage was $3,000 at that time, and me buying it back on the auction blocks, then coming to them with the keys and saying, hey, here, you couldn't afford $3,000, but it is a mortgage in my name. I'll put the mortgage in my name. You pay back, you know, it was $3,000. You pay back $1,500 a month. Now you can afford. I can afford that. Okay, wonderful. Because you couldn't pay the $3,000. This is a fact. This is a true story. I put it in my name, in my company's name, my name personally, before I transferred it to the company. And then I said, you just keep it for a year and a half. You're a member of my church. This is why that whole church people thing. Y'all, yeah. So I went and got them, family of 6, beautiful wife, beautiful children, and negotiated with him, and we worked it all through, and he agreed. Oh my God, you saved my life. I ain't got to pay $3,000 a month. Now all I'm paying is $1,500. These numbers aren't accurate. I'm giving you how it went in percentages. And so I said, great, just pay that for a year and a half. You make the payments. That was my mistake, because I was really early in real estate. And I said, you make the payments for a year and a half, and I'll transfer the deed over to you. I even took money out of the equity that I obtained by getting it at a discount, because I bought it back from the bank. And so I said, I'll put a loan together, because they ran the house down. I built the house back up, new roof, new walls, new plumbing, new water, new ceilings, new floors, put in where there was veneer. I put in real marble. Y'all know me, I'm bougie. So I did it that way. And the money was in their property. And that they paid back was a part of the note that I took out to get the place redone. Brand new landscape. The whole place was done really nice, happy and proud. Everybody's praising God. Thank you, Jesus. Glory to Elohim, all this wonderful stuff for about a good 6 months. Now, I figured they were paying the bill, because they were for first 4 or 5 months, because I was in counseling with them. After, it turns out, long story short, they end up not paying the note. I'm getting the calls from the bank, and I'm like, hey, bro, they sit in church clapping and praising God and singing and everything every Sunday, Wednesday, you know. And then I'm like, hey, bro, I'm getting these calls from the banks. I need you to make sure you get paid. Okay, yada, yada, yada. So then after a while, I got to be the banker that I am. I got to be the landlord that I am. Like, hey, I got to make these decisions. if you're not going to pay this note, we got a problem. And he was 6 months in. 6 months later, I'm getting calls. The deal was for an additional 6 months, 18 months. So 12 months in, he's back to being in foreclosure again. He got me now, my credit in foreclosure. So he calls the banks, does something, and I'm telling him, you gotta find another place. I'll help you find another place. You told me you could afford half of what you were paying. Clearly you can't pay half, but you in new J's. Your baby got jewelry on. Your baby boy got jewelry on. I'm happy for you. I'm thinking you're blessed. Yahweh bless you. I'm not getting in your business. At the end of the day, here's what took place. Long story short, again, he ends up, I have to make a decision. I have to get an attorney and have him removed, and I'll help him move to another place. And suddenly he's like, oh, you're taking my family's house? I'm like, bro, I gave you back your family's house. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. Flat out, you're back in foreclosure, less than 18 months. But now you're dragging my credit into it, right? And so I have to make a decision that's best for me and my family. I did this out of love for yours. And then he goes to the media. Oh my God, he goes to the news media. He gets the investigative reporters, and I got the media at the church talking about, he's supposed to be a real estate investor preaching the gospel and all this stuff. And I'm like, I didn't say nothing. I hired my attorney and said, y'all go handle that. You got to comment to me. I told staff, I think it was Elder Page or something. I said, let's just send all their questions to the attorney. Now the media was all in it, came to church, watched me preach the whole 9 yards, and got me on ABC News, as they call it, just as a metaphor. And the whole neighborhood's like, oh, that's the bad pastor. He's stealing homes from his church people, right? So when the case went to court, we got it expedited. It went to court. This is a true story. When it went to court, all the salacious allegations and the besmirching of the name, the ministry, and the character of the person, when we got out of court, I went to court, the judge made its ruling. The judge was like, you mean this man came and got your house off the auction blocks, gave it back to you, cut your old mortgage in half by 50%, completely upgraded your house, and then you went back into foreclosure on his credit within 12 months. That's what you're telling me is the story. Well, technically, but he took it out, and then I found out on the HUD that he took more money out. I'm like, yeah, that's the money to pay for your upgrades. That's why you don't deal with ignorant people. I'm trying to educate you. I'm not even Beyonce, but I'm trying to upgrade you. Anybody trying to level them up? You're trying to level up. I'm trying to get you upgraded because you're in our ministry. You got to look like you able, like God is able. And so the judge is like, so you did all of that and you think he owes you? He says, how much money do you have, left on this note for the upgrade? I said, it's like about, 20K, 14K. He says, all right, fair enough. I'll be right back. So he goes in, he makes the ruling, he comes back out, slams, he says, all right, I heard your stories. I see the media still here. And the media was all in the room. He's like, I see the media still here. But here's the story. You plaintiff owe me, the defendant, $14,000. This is ridiculous what you've done. And now you think he has done you wrong. You owe him $14,000. The judge says, I want you, Mr. Jones, to go to the court upstairs in this court hall and make an actual note to the county clerk that this debt is to be paid to you within 7 years. If it's not paid to you within 7 years, you bring him back to court. So he walks out of there thinking he gonna get his house back and all this other stuff, and he gonna besmirch my name. Now here's the point I'm making. I'm showing y'all the case because when all the facts come out before a judge who is a mediator looking over everything in an even keel, he makes a determination based on the facts. But for the months prior to this, the whole media campaign was Jones is a thief, Jones is this, Jones is that, Jones is the other. Oh, that's why we can't deal with him. I had pastors shunning and shying away. Wow, no, that's why I don't deal with you. So now the media is sitting out in front of our office and coming to our church services. And so as soon as the verdict came down, listen, the media wrapped up their cords, pulled down their lights, got in their vans, and went up the road, never saw him again. My attorney then calls the media who kept asking for statements from me. And they said, okay, he's ready to talk now. Oh, no, it's no longer newsworthy. See, this is why in these situations, when you guys get rumors as believers in the kingdom, Oh, y'all not talking to me. They literally said, oh, your story is no longer newsworthy. Oh, so it was newsworthy as long as a man activist in the community supposed to be of certain caliber is accused of something. It's newsworthy. But the moment you get the end of the story and you find out that those allegations were wrong and inaccurate and just salacious, now it's not newsworthy. So it doesn't matter that you've already damaged my name in people's mind who don't even know me, never met me, but now you won't give them the whole story. I got to actually go and pay for my own biography to clear my name after you help smear it through that vehicle you have. And they says, yeah, no, it's not newsworthy. We don't need any more comment from you. This is a true story. So when I talk about today, the story on the proceeding word, I want you to understand where it's coming from, and that I'm not just saying this because I'm a preacher trying to preach something. I'm really trying to help kingdom people live practically. So once that story became a dead case, they were suing me for the house and some damages and mental damage, whatever. And the judge was like, y'all crazy. You owe this man $14,000 and you have less than 7 years to pay it. And however nice he wants to be, it's up to him. He says, y'all get out of here. He slams the gavel down. Boy, when I tell you the reels that was in the nudity, the media and all this stuff, the people, the cameras and the papers flipping, they were out of that place like Speedy Gonzalez. When we called them back the next day, okay, we're ready to have a conversation. We told y'all that this would be cleared up in the facts. They thought they had the facts. They did their own digging. Here's another thing. Somebody had a report of the HUD from the news people, but it was not my HUD. And they made it look like it was my HUD. They thought it was my HUD, and they were smearing this all over on the news. And here is the report of the HUD and the money. And so when it went to the judge and they found that they didn't have the same HUD that the judge had, y'all don't know what a HUD is. A HUD is a sales receipt of the transaction of real estate. So in any HUD, it tells you who got what money, where the money went to, who brought in what money, what's the escrow, all that. So when the real HUD gets revealed, like we've been telling the whole time, y'all got the wrong. I don't know who that person is. I don't know that. Anyway, they let it run and run and run and run and run. Now, all the time this is running, my name is being drugged through the mud. And V.W. Jones wanted to fight, shoot, kill, knock over places, bulldoze down houses. I really tell you, I went through a whole gamut of emotions because the thug in me. I ain't been saved all my life. And you really tried me. I extended not an olive leaf, bro. I threw out a whole tree to get you and your family back on sound footing, and you go here with it and then drag me down with you. We're not doing, and then besmirch my name. Oh my goodness, the man in me. If anybody who knows me, you know I be snapping in situations like this. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna confess. I can. Yeah. Ask my mama. So, in any event, that's what took place. So my experience, along with my case studies of divorces that I counsel and lawsuits that I help people mediate through before they get to that stage, in my world, I found out that you don't know the whole story until you got the whole story. And right now, with social media always getting stuff out there, jumping on the nearest thing to make sure that they got content to be relevant to their audience they're attacking or attracting, and the nosiness of just human nature. We got it from Adam. We got it honest. We got it from Adam. That nosiness, we just carry the story and run with it. So when you understand that, you learn to sit back and, as the Bible, as King Solomon, another man who I would have respect for, who's in the same similar position I'm in, a greater one than I'm in, but I have a look at that world. And, you don't know the story until both sides come to the table with the facts. That's why we call it arbitration. That's why we call it mediation. That's why we call it a complaint. That's why it's called a plaintiff and a defendant. And so therefore there's an argument. The argument bears out all the facts. The argument is not a fight. It's not a fisticuff. It can end up there, but it's not. An argument is not a fight. An argument is the display of all the data on both sides of opposing view. And once you have that, someone judges over that, and then we make sense of where the discrepancies are. This is why the court system in America is so beautiful and unique. Now, it also comes from the Bible. So he who answers a matter before he hears both sides brings folly or shame to himself. Okay? And so when the media told us at the end of the day, they said, this is no longer newsworthy. My attorney was like, you want me to sue him? I said, no, we're not going to mess with them. Let them people go on down the road. Because there were two particular media companies in my city who did that. And they were like, no, it's no longer newsworthy. I mean, they were just blatant. It's no longer newsworthy. We can't spend any more time with investigators watching and digging into the story and doing what it does. So it's no longer newsworthy. And they just walked away like nothing ever happened. Okay, because if you're not content that gives them payment for their existence, you don't matter. They don't want to hear your good news story unless they are being forced to do something about charitable communities in the neighborhood. And then that gets them paid because it's relevant. It seems to hit home and pulls the purse and heartstrings of a people. So when you come to me about what do I think about what's happening in the media, this is how I'm gonna look at you. My thought is I ain't got nothing to say until all the facts are weighed out. And then once I see all the facts, do I need to be bothered with this? Is this bothering me? Is this affecting my life? Can I help somebody? Now, if someone comes and asks me after the case, because they're struggling, I can help them with that at that point. So was that story interesting or fun for anybody? Because now I'm getting into our lesson. Okay, here is the lesson. In your Bible, which we're going to call a social media setting, how do you really view Judas? Let me say that differently. Let me back up to another man. I'll move closer into another man. How do you view a very common figure? I got a multiplicity of people in my head who we have villainized in the Bible, and we didn't pay attention because we didn't hear the rest of the story. Or we're so caught up in the morality piece that we forgot the end result. So let's talk about a young man by the name of Moshe. Moshe had a counterpart who he was working with, and his name was Pharaoh. Well, his name was Ramses. Many argue that his name was Ramses, but he was in fact Pharaoh of Moshe's day, all right? Moshe's ruling days. So this Pharaoh in the book of Shemot, starting in chapter 4, this Pharaoh, starting in chapter 4, Yahweh sent Moshe to tell Pharaoh to let his people go. Now, how many of y'all, come off mic, tell me right now, how many of y'all villainize Pharaoh and call him the enemy and call him bondage and call him mean and evil? Anybody want? I did. Hey, Santana. Oh, I thought I saw Santana on there. Is she not there? Okay. Somebody check and text Santana. I'd like to hear her voice out there. She always tells me what she's talking about. Listen, so many of us have villainized Pharaoh, didn't we? Because Pharaoh's a bad man. Now, Egypt as a nation under a Pharaoh, the Bible says, that did not know Joseph. I can go there to Exodus chapter 2 to give you that help on that real quick. Let's go there. I'll share my Bibles with you right now. But let's go to Shemot chapter 1, actually, and just to bring this to bear, because I'm going to talk about a couple of people that we villainize. Now, are these people biblical villains, or were they actually kingdom assets to fulfill the plan of salvation of Elohim? Watch this. Man doesn't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh or Elohim. Watch this. Are you ready? Shemot, chapter 1. Look at this word. Look at the writ here. I'm going to read it very quickly. Now, these were the name of the children of Israel when they came into Egypt. Every man in his household. There was the household of Jacob. Verse 2. It was Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Uda, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. I'm going to read down. Verse 6. Joseph died. Verse 7. The children of Israel were fruitful. Here it is. The children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied multiplied and they waxed exceedingly mighty in the land, and the land was filled with them. Watch this. Verse 8. Listen, now there arose a new king, a new Pharaoh over Egypt, which did not know the works and efforts of Usef to save Egypt. Verse 9. He said unto the people, behold, the people of Israel, the children of Israel, are more mightier than we are. Come, Egypt, let us now deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there fall out any war with any of our enemies, that these people, these Israelis, they join our enemies and fight against us and then get us out of this land. Verse 11, therefore, they did set over the children of Israel taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Python and Ramses, right? Verse 12. But the more they afflicted the Israelis, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Verse 13. The Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter, hard bondage and brick and mortar, and all the manner of service in the field, and all their service wherein they made them serve was rigorous. Verse 15, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives and told them this very thing. He said one of them's name was Shifra, and the other's name was Pua. And he said to them, when you do go in there to play midwife to these Hebrew women while they're delivering their children, meaning they're on the stool, if it be a son, I want you to kill the boys. But if it be a daughter, I want you to let the daughter live. The midwives feared Elohim. They did not as this king had commanded. Egypt, Pharaoh's king, they did not. They saved the children alive. And the king, Pharaoh of Egypt, called the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing? And they saved the children's men's alive, the children's lives, the men children alive. Verse 19, the midwives told Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women, well, they sort of kind of lively. They're not like your Egyptian women. They ain't all bougie and stuff. They get on that stool and they spit that baby out. Man, by the time we get notification that they even in labor, they done had the daggone child, and that's all it is. Verse 20, therefore Elohim dealt with the midwives, children of Israel multiplied, and they waxed very great. But here it is. Here it is. You know the story of how Moshe got here. It came to pass that the midwives feared Elohim. They made them houses. Pharaoh then charged all of his people, saying, every son that is born to the Israelis, I want you to cast that son into the river, and I want every daughter to be left and saved alive. Now we go to chapter 2. And there went a man of the house of Levi who got married to a woman by the name of, this is Amram and Yoshabel. Okay, I'm going to keep moving down here. But I want you to catch this. This Pharaoh in chapter 1 is the same Pharaoh in chapter 2. But by the time we get to chapter 4, there's a different Pharaoh. Now, this Pharaoh in chapter 4 throughout, till you get to Pesach, you get to the Red Sea. Some say the Sea of Reeds. Y'all don't get caught up in an argument. So they get to the Red Sea, and this Pharaoh, the Bible says, and I'm going to paraphrase for time's sake because everybody's doing your barbecues. I don't want to hold y'all up, but you know you can track this down in the book of Shemot. This Pharaoh would not let the children of Israel go. Now, the Pharaoh we just read about is different from the Pharaoh in chapter 4, because Moshe in chapter 2 ends up killing an Egyptian. The Pharaoh that he was running from ran him out of Egypt. He left Egypt, went into Midian, stayed up there with Jethro in Midian, became the sheik in Midian, the prince of Midian, and then 40 years later he returns. 40 years later he returns. 40 years later, so there's a different Pharaoh when he gets back to Egypt. But Egypt has enslaved the children of Israel. Now, the omen was that there would be a deliverer. We know that's Moshe. Moshe, the deliverer, would in fact release and have the children of Israel freed from Egypt. Now, when Moshe goes back into Egypt 40 years after he left, he's 80 years old now. And he goes to the Pharaoh in place, and he tells the Pharaoh, Elohim, Yahweh told me to come and tell you, let my people go. Pharaoh is doing what any good king would do. He got slaves, he got indentured servants, he got a workforce, he's got a GDP to be responsible for, he's got an economy to make sure it runs well, and he's got these services he does for all the other nations he's over. Pharaoh is not a bad guy. Y'all gonna get mad at me right now. Pharaoh's not a bad dude. He's just doing what kings do. That is the nature of the beast. Now, he didn't anticipate what he inherited, that Elohim would come and deliver his slave labor. So now Pharaoh is sitting there, and Moshe comes in, who has history with his daddy and Pharaoh's daddy. And, he's like, you telling us to let the people go? Who told you to tell the people to stop working? Do you run this country? No, you do not. All right. So y'all get back out there and work. As a matter of fact, since you did this, tell the people they can do more work with less provisions from us. Go get your own straw, but you better not let my brick tally drop. So Pharaoh's angry. I get that as a leader, as a buck stop here kind of person. I get that. So when Moshe is now in the camp, he's telling the people, Yahweh going to deliver you. He's going to give these plagues. Yahweh starts to give these plagues. Now, after like plague 3, Pharaoh was like, you know what? This ain't worth it. Let them people go. Watch this. I want to say there were 3 times Pharaoh said in his heart, I'm done. I'm convinced. I'm not going to keep these people. And he negotiated and bartered however he bartered. Okay, you can go, but leave me your cattle, leave me your babies. You can take your old men and old women, and y'all can go and get out of here. But I'm keeping your offspring, and I'm keeping your cattle, right? That didn't work out, right? So okay, he doesn't do that. But there were 2 times, definitely. I think it's 3 times. And if I did have more time, I'd go in there and read it more. But there are 2 times that Pharaoh said, I'm going to let these people go. And it's 3 times. And Yahweh, the Bible declares, do I need to find it for y'all? I think I need to find it for y'all so y'all can believe me. Let me type in hard in here. Hardened. Hardend, right? Yeah. Hardened. Hardened. All right, let's try hard. Go. Okay. All right, so let's go to Exodus. Man, listen to this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 places, 5 places where Yahweh hardens Pharaoh's heart. All right, let me show them to you so you can get this. So Pharaoh was going to let the people go, but Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart not to let the people go. Right after Pharaoh said, you know what, I'm done. Let these people go. This ain't worth it, because Pharaoh's a good leader. Granted, the nature of the beast as it relates to kings and pharaohs, we're not disputing. He has to run his nation. He has to run his country. He has a business to run. He did not expect divine intervention. So again, as you see in the topic of today, were these biblical villains, or were they actually kingdom assets? Because Yahweh used Pharaoh to get Egypt out. Could he have put his hand in the earth like a crane and snatched Israel out of Goshen and craned them over to the wilderness across the sea? Yes, Yahweh could, but he doesn't do that. He doesn't go against his own word. So if he's going to do anything in an earth that he made, he's going to work in the earth resources to get that task done. So he uses Moshe. We villainize Moshe because, oh, he held him, he made him do work, and then he took away the straw. Pharaoh's a madman. Morally, that's wrong. But watch this. What you going to say when Yahweh inflicted that issue that you and I deem an issue of morality? Is Pharaoh a villain, or is he an asset? Let me show you. Watch this very closely. All right. Let's go to Exodus chapter number. Let's go to 7:3. Exodus chapter 7, Shemot chapter 7, verse 1. Put it on the screen so y'all can read it. Are y'all okay with this? Are y'all learning anything? Are y'all hearing anything? Are y'all seeing anything? Is this making y'all think? Okay, let me know. And by the way, if you're on YouTube, would you please subscribe to the page? Let me pull this down real quick before I can get out of here. If you're on YouTube, would you please subscribe to the page? Go ahead and subscribe. Did you do it yet? Subscribe. We need your help. Just subscribe. Okay, cool. We don't need money. Just subscribe to the page. All right. Did you on Facebook? Did you like the page, the Facebook page? Are you liking this broadcast? We'll be done in just about 10 more minutes. But did you like the page yet? Like the broadcast? Are you typing in the thread? Are you making the algorithm move and work so that this kind of a message you're appealing to, you're attracted to, can get to other people who think like you? And you ain't got to push nobody's door knob. YouTube and Facebook will do it. So this is how we get the message out. Help me carry the gospel by liking, subscribing, hitting the reminder bell, making comments inside of the threads. Okay, moving forward. Here we go. Shemot chapter 7, verse 1. And Yahweh said to Moshe, y'all listen, read the story now. Read the story now. Yahweh said to Moshe, see, I have made you look like a god to Pharaoh. And Aaron, your brother, Aaron shall be your prophet. Verse 2. Thou shalt speak all that I command. Aaron, his brother, shall speak unto Pharaoh, and he shall send the children of Israel out of his land. Verse 3, I will, y'all, can y'all read verse 3 with me? Can anybody who ain't working, because I know y'all supposed to be on holiday, but y'all gonna do me like y'all do me on Sabbath. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to be working, but you working anyway. So if you're really not working and you're not off, if anybody can come off mic, can you read verse 3 with me on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Who's speaking here? Anybody know who's speaking here? Veronica, go.
Yahweh.
Okay, so how do you know it's Yahweh speaking, Veronica? Would verse 1 help you with that? Let me go to verse 1. I think verse 1 helps us prove Veronica's point. Verse 1 says, and Yahweh said unto Moshe, see, I made you look like a god to Pharaoh. Verse 2. Yahweh still speaking. You're going to speak all that I command you, right? Verse 3, and Yahweh still speaking, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. So is Pharaoh a villain, or is Pharaoh a kingdom asset to the plan of salvation?
Part of the plan.
Nobody's gonna answer. Okay, all right, cool. Because you're like, can't nothing bad come. I mean, but Pharaoh has been villainized throughout the text. You go back and see the movie of Cecil B. Mills and the 10 Commandments, and he is villainized. You go back and read any stories about Moshe and the children of Israel coming out of their place of bondage. You look at him like he is a villain, and he is only a king who is being used in a process of Elohim as a villain. Now, does he go to heaven? I don't know. I don't know what Pharaoh's last choice was, but I do know that Elohim can use anything and anybody in any situation. So today's conversations that I had with two great men and women of God stemmed today's off-the-cuff conversation with you on the preceding word, because I want us to stop villainizing people because we just nosy in Christendom. I want Christians to stop villainizing people like Moshe, another man that we villainize. Now, let me help you. Let me help you with this. Tracy Wade says, hey, Thelma. Tracy says, I always pay attention to verse 3. Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart. All of this is a part of Elohim's plan, because Moshe, he's getting the instructions right now. Look at the chapter. It's very true. Great point, Tracy. Look at the point. Look at Exodus 7. Look at what he says. He says, and Yahweh said, Yahweh says, I'm going to tell you what to do. Yahweh says, and when I tell you what to do so the children of Israel can be free, verse 3, he says, I will then harden Pharaoh's heart, because I'm going to drop some bombs on Pharaoh that's going to make Pharaoh quiver, gonna make him shake, gonna make him run, but I'm gonna harden his heart from being soft towards you people. Right? Now watch this. Look at verse 3. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But I'm telling you right now, because I'm hardening Pharaoh's heart, Pharaoh shall not hearken to your request. Why? Because I'm going to lay my hand upon Egypt, and I'm going to bring forth my armies and my people and the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by great judgments, so that, verse 5, the Egyptians know that I am Yahweh when I stretch forth my hand on Egypt and bring out my children from among them. Can I get somebody to say, oh my God, he wrote the plan out? That's the whole plan right there. Is anybody else this day old just realizing it was the whole plan of Elohim from the beginning? Maybe you might not be. I'm gonna give y'all out. But there's a lot of y'all like, you know, I never looked at it that way. Yahweh gave him the whole plan. He's like, hey, Pharaoh's not going to hearken to you because I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. You as a man, Pharaoh as a man, under the circumstances and the bombs I'm going to drop with my hand on that land, anybody would cave in and say, y'all get out of here. Get the step and move. Stage right. Fly quick. Go. But Yahweh's like, but I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. I'm going to make him hard-headed. I'm going to make him not want to let y'all go. Even though the whole nation of Egypt, if you read the story through Shemot, up until chapter number 11, 13, 12, the whole nation, like, let these people go, man. You're going to let us sit here and die? We done had a plague. We done had the river turn to blood. We got fire dropping out of heaven. We got flies. I got lice. I got frogs. I don't even like frogs, man. Well, 2 of them frogs was pretty good. You put some salt on them and you take that left leg and you put it in the, okay. But I don't want all this stuff, Mr. Pharaoh, man. It's like, let these people go. Is that what they want? They just want to be free. Let them go. Pharaoh's like, yeah, I'm with you. We're going to let them go because I got lice, man. My hair, look. And so it was a bad situation. They was ready to go. But Yahweh says, no, I want to show Israel and use Egypt to understand how great I am so that they don't have to question me when I bring them out. Somebody say it was a part of the plan. Can y'all type it in the text? Can y'all give me some thread text? Can y'all give me some algorithm help? Can y'all say it's a part of his, all caps, his plan? Y'all not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I know some of y'all doing it. I'm going to do it. It's a part of his plan of salvation. It's just a part of his plan of salvation. That's a part of the plan. We didn't, because we nosy. Like, oh, that's so wrong what Pharaoh did. He's so mean. He did no straws. You know, get him, God. God, get him, God. Get Pharaoh, God. Some of y'all see watching the movies. God, just get him, God. Sick him, God. And he's like, Yahweh, the one that hardened his heart. Chill. Is he a villain or is he a kingdom asset? But because we so caught up in our narrative, we missed the whole true intention of the writ. Yahweh was using him to show a point. Let me give you one more man. And if y'all want more of this, we can talk about it on next Wednesday or next Monday. If y'all want more of this, you let me know because we're almost done here. I got to let y'all go. I can't keep you more than an hour today because I want y'all to go get y'all food. Plus, I'm ready to go find me some baked beans, some potato salad because I didn't cook none of that stuff, and I got to leave this office and go find something to get to eat. So here's the catch. Watch this, because when I'm hungry, y'all not gonna stop me from eating. Y'all tried it on Sabbath. Y'all do it good on Sabbath, but I ain't gonna do it on Monday. So here's the catch. Well, who out there cooking right now? Who in my general vicinity that can send, y'all got some potato salad cooking and baked beans in it? Nobody baked corn on the cob nowhere. Y'all just gonna leave me hanging? Like y'all not gonna talk? You know what? Forget it. Let's get back to the Bible. Come on, let go. All right. Okay. Here's the Bible. Now, another man many of y'all like to villainize. And it really speaks to our unawareness of what we read. Now, Yahweh gave us Yeshua HaMashiach, right? And Yahweh gave us Yeshua. Yeshua picked 12 disciples by hand, and he ended up with 120 by virtue of just multiplication. What y'all think about Judas? Y'all call him Judas. His name is Udis. But what do you think about Udis? Is he a biblical villain? Or is he actually a kingdom asset?
He was a part of the plan.
Lindo says softly, he's a part of the plan. Okay. Anybody else, Judas? Because we want to beat Judas up. We was glad Judas hung himself and fell down and broke the tree and his bowels gushed out. Get him, God. He shouldn't have betrayed my Savior. Get him, God. Get him. Y'all be sicking God on Judas so much, it's crazy. Judas, the old hater. Judas, the old hater. Can't stand Judas. Y'all know I believe Judas is in heaven. I promise you, I believe Judas is in heaven. Boys, I got some theologians out there mad at me talking about, turn that man off my get him off my cable, move him. Listen, I believe Judas made heaven. I can't speak to Pharaoh. I don't, because I don't know if Pharaoh had too many gods. I don't know what his situation was after he lost his whole people. Maybe he turned to God when his army died in the actual river. You know what I mean? That would turn me to God. I want to know his God. That's that for me. If I'm Pharaoh, and no matter how many demigods I had prior to this, the 10 actual plagues struck down 10 gods of their making. That's another thing we can talk about. If you come to Bible Book Club, we'll be getting into Exodus coming next week or the week after, and we're going to go into the stories of Shemot. So you might want to be here for the Bible Book Clubs on Thursdays. Let me give y'all that right now because some of y'all don't know about that. You want to be here for Bible Book Club. Here, what you want to do, be here for Bible Book Club on Thursdays every single solitary week, and we are working one word at a time through the Bible. And it stops, and we talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but we'll be getting into the book of Shemot. We've been in the book of Genesis for 2 years. Now we're about to go to Shemot. We'll probably be there for 3, but it's Torah, and that helps us run through the whole Bible. Now, since we've been in Genesis, we have been through every book in the Bible, literally, from the prophets to the Proverbs to the Psalms to the books of the Brit Hadessa, all the way to the book of Revelation. So listen, you want to catch this. So here's the thing. So if I was Moshe's day and I was Pharaoh, and not only did I get lice, I got frogs. I had to drink blood because we had no water. The sun went dark. I don't even know why the sun went dark. It wouldn't shine. And then I had hail come down from heaven. I was not Sodom and Gomorrah. Why did I get hail that caught fire when it hit the ground? I don't know why all these frogs is in my kitchen. I don't know what the locust is about. Can somebody please help me? And then you kill my whole army in the river. I'm turning to Moshe's God. I'm like, I want to know your God. Please save me from myself. That's just me. All right. Now, so I don't know if Pharaoh got saved in the end. I don't know. But this guy, Udis, he a little different. Udis is a little different if you pay attention to Udis' story. Udis was handpicked. He is an Israeli. He is of I can't give you the tribe right now. I'm pulling blank, but he is what you would call Jewish, meaning he's either of Benjamin, Levi. I don't think he's from Levi. I think he's from Udis, because I think that's what makes it significant. But we can find out. But either way, he's of the one of the 3 tribes: Benjamin, Uda, or Levi. Y'all know that's what a Jew is, right? A Jew is not all 12 tribes. A Jew is just those 3 tribes of the 12 tribes. Y'all got that? Y'all know that? Please learn that, because when you learn that, our conversations get a whole lot better and your revelation gets a whole lot more enlightened. So at the end of the day, we find out, my time is almost up, that Udis, you mean that joker ain't a villain? Udis was doing what any good manager, Messiah hired him to be the manager of the campaign. While they was walking down the road, he's like, here, Udis, you hold the money, you play accountant. Yeah, Matthew's good with taxation and stuff, but I want you to hold the money. You hold the purse bag. You and Matthew work it out. He be the assistant chief CFO, you the CFO, he the assistant CFO. And as we go, when we need stuff, y'all just help us get it. That's why. So Udis was technically doing his job, and he thought Yeshua was weird for letting all this money from this oil just be poured on him and lavished on him. Like, you got me holding money, so we could have used all that oil from that alabaster box to help so many more people. Isn't that what your charge was, Yeshua? And plus, you was talking about last week we might have to eat your flesh. I don't know. And now he got people whispering in his ear. So Udis has got a real weird situation going on in his life. Y'all never heard the story of the Bible talked about this way, have y'all? Because we don't pay attention to it. We just want what the preacher told us. But look at the story. Udis is a man. He is in campaign with Messiah. This is not some outreach, but they are, and he has a job. He is the one who has the money bag. And when the money, probably the biggest donation to the ministry, came in, oh, y'all didn't catch that? The alabaster box, when she opened, oh, y'all just know the song that was sang beautifully by C.C. Williams, right? Winans, right? My Alabaster Box. Love the song. Can't live without it. However, there is a story to the alabaster box. Okay. And so that cost, that price, that value of that oil in that alabaster box may have been one of the biggest donations during Yeshua's day into the movement that was Yeshua. And they had to have someone who was over the monies that did come in, that the people gathered, and they kept that. Did y'all know that there was a money man? Did y'all know that there was a CFO walking with Yeshua? Oh, no, because we haven't preached that. But if you just read the text, it tells you that. It's right there. So anyway, I got to keep going because I got to go eat. Y'all got to get back to y'all barbecue. So in America anyway. So I just want y'all to understand that Udis had a job. And he didn't think Yeshua was doing his job. Y'all didn't pay the part to that. Now, at the end of the day, and then he's got the people in his back, in his ear, and he got the other people who mad because Yeshua said you might have to eat my flesh and drink my blood. I mean, we dealing with a cannibal. I didn't know you was a cannibal when you picked me, Messiah. Messiah, you ain't tell me you was eating toenails and fingernails. I didn't know. I didn't know he was eating elbows. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. I didn't sign up for that. Now this woman in here, she putting grease and stuff. We could have used that. You told me to make sure. So all of this is going on. Y'all don't like the VWJ translation? I think it's funny. So Udis is just like Pharaoh, just a man doing what he do and trying to do what he was told to do. And yet we find out when Messiah tells us in John chapters 15 through 17, if you read the storyline very quickly. Would y'all like me to bring these back next on Wednesday? I can talk about this on Wednesday. I can push my schedule back and talk about this on Wednesday. Would y'all like to continue the villains versus the biblical villains versus the actual kingdom assets? Because we got more people to talk about. Would y'all like that? I can bring it back on Wednesday, part 2.
Yes, sir. I think you should.
You think I should? Anybody else?
I do.
Y'all let me know. YouTube, Facebook, give me some algorithm help. Say bring back part 2. Let me know. Type it in. I don't know. You know, if you're on Clubhouse and you said on Clubhouse, don't type on YouTube or Facebook. But if you're on Facebook or YouTube and you want to know, I can do part 2 because there are more people you villainize in the Bible and they were actually kingdom assets. And then I'll bring the close to the fact of how you got to be careful how you deal with people in your life who betrayed you. You never know who Yahweh would use to elevate you. But you get caught up in the situation that looks like it hurt you. But yet you still living and kicking. And yet you found that it elevated you in the end. Oh, my story that I told you at the beginning? Yeah, it elevated me in the end. I got more deals for real estate from that court hearing and free press that I ever anticipated and imagined. Be careful how we villainize people because of storylines. Make sure you get the whole story. So y'all want me to continue this? Some of y'all said yes. Some of y'all said yes. Some of y'all said, okay, I got eyes and looking around. Bishop, part 2. Bishop Brooks says part 2. Okay, shalom, Bishop. All right. Ahava Yadin, hey, she says part 2. Bring back part 2 so I can listen. Bring back part 2. Okay, Grice. I got you, my brother. Hey, Jordan Grice. Y'all put props up for Jordan Grice for his graduation process. Y'all put props up for Gigi. her graduation process. Y'all put props up for Zandy out in LA. Girlfriend graduated with honors. All the people that I'm talking about are graduating with honors, every one of them. And I am so honored that they are young people keeping Sabbath and seeing the benefits of how he'll affect a life in their practicality through their actual keeping and complying with his feasts as well as his Sabbath days. Y'all give Yahweh praise for the lives of these great young men and women who are going to be our leaders in the very near future. I love them all. I mean it. I didn't say all the names. I know I didn't, but those three popped up in my head right now. Michelle as well, Pastor Rogers' daughter. She ain't like her mom though. She not country like her mom. Michelle, she's a brilliant educator. Mom is too. She gonna have my head. I love you, Roger Rogers. All right, so let's get back to this point so we can go home. Thank you, Bishop, and Marcel. She's also on the Bishop Brooks's ministry, Pastor Brooks's daughter. She also did, and going back to school. People, if y'all graduate and y'all still young, I want y'all not to leave school until y'all get your doctorates. I know y'all tired of the work, you tired of the textbooks, you tired of all the sessions, but get your doctorates now. A master's is basically almost a high school diploma at this point. I'm sorry, a bachelor's is basically a high school diploma at this point. A master's is the equivalent of what a bachelor's used to be. And now your master's is the only way you can write your own ticket. Get your doctorate. Go get it. Just keep going. You can work part-time if you really feel you need to be grown, but there are ways we'll help show you people that can help get you scholarships to make sure you are in school. You can keep the financing going as well as make sure you don't have to pay for it and do Sally Mae all through school. Some of you can come out without even having that debt over your shoulders. It is possible. It is more than possible. I'm living proof. But I want you to please, if you're doing it, I know you're celebrating. Celebrate that you graduated that stage, but you got another stage to get to. I want you all to get your doctorates. You'll thank me, even if I'm in my grave, dead and gone. Messiah has not come back. When you're living your life under your doctorate, you have put yourself in a position that you won't have to be dependent on anybody. You can literally write your own ticket. Whether you will or not is another story, but you have what you need in this given society to succeed in almost anything out there, and you don't have to live within the box and the drawn lines that literally delineate between prosperity and poverty. I need you to get your doctorate degrees. I'm tired, Apostle. Keep going. Keep going. If I got any adults who lived through life and now wish you had your doctorate, I want y'all to say, go. Just put it on the thread and say, go, young people. Anybody gonna come off mic and say it neither? You know what?
Go, people.
Thank you, Prophet.
Can I ask you a controversial question?
No, because I'm typing right now and I'm mad nobody else is saying go. But you go ahead, sir. What's your question? What's your question, Prophet?
People may not like it, but my question is, we know for a fact that Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart twice, right?
Oh, no. Sorry, I can't have you on here lying. Let me help you. Look at this. Look at the my concordance won't pull this up, but you won't see this on my concordance because it's a separate app for this concordance. Don't lose your thought, my brother. But here's what I want to show y'all. Okay, here it is. Watch this. From Genesis chapter 7, from Exodus chapter 7, pardon me, it begins, Yahweh hardened his heart and said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he tells them over and over again, I'm a harden Pharaoh's heart. 6, it's mess. I can't even count. I'm just learning that part today because this was an ad hoc dialogue, an ad hoc session. But yeah, we'll just give you 2, but no, it's more.
Yo, I won't correct myself. It was multiple times. I was wrong. I was wrong.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to make you wrong. I was really trying to make it a teachable moment because you wasn't wrong. You were right. He did. So go ahead, finish your point.
So my question is, we know that Yahweh heart and Pharaoh's heart. Do you believe? Because I do. Do you believe Yahweh heart and Buddha's heart?
Oh, I'm gonna break that down. I want to be done here in 5 minutes. I was supposed to be going there, but I got sidetracked with the doctorate and the children congratulating because I didn't get a chance to do it during the feasts, during the Sabbaths and everything and traveling. But I don't believe. I know he did. Let's go to that, and that's why I want to. That's why I said I want to sort of kind of open this up on Wednesday, but we can talk about it right this very second. Let me pull it up in the concordance. Y'all got to know this is all ad hoc today. I just decided to come on and do this one this way, right? But technically, let me go to my concordance and help us find what brother's talking about. Son of perdition. All right, I'm using my concordance to pull up perdition so I can find the place that I want to be at. Okay, this is what y'all should be doing at home as well. Now, let's go to John chapter 17. I'll put it on the screen so y'all can read it. Shalom, Geraldine Hughes. Let's go to John 17, verse 2. I'm in John 17. See it on the screen. See it on the screen. See it on the screen. Let's go to 17:12. Actually, is where I want to be. But I want y'all to see what Messiah said. Now, remember, Messiah now knows he's about to pass away, right? So let's leave verse 1. These words spake Yeshua, lifted up his eyes to heaven. Verse 1. And he said, Yahweh, the hour is come. Glorify Adonai, that Adonai may also glorify thee. 2. As you have given Adonai power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many of them that you have given him. Verse 3. And this is eternal life, that they might know you, the only true Elohim, and that they might know Yeshua, the Messiah, whom you sent. This is a third-party conversation, right? Verse 4. I have glorified you on the earth. I have finished the work which you gave me to do. And now, Yahweh, glorify me with your own self, with the glory which I had with you before the world was. This is Adonai, not Yeshua speaking, though it's Yeshua whose body's pronouncing the words. Verse 6. I have manifested your name unto the men which you gave me out of the world. Yours they were, and you gave them to me, and you've kept them by thy word. Verse 7. Now they have known all things whatsoever you have given me, and they know that they are all of you. Verse 8. For I have given unto them your words, which you gave me, and they have received them, and they have known surely that I come out from thee, and they have believed that you did send me. Verse 9, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but I pray for them which you have given me, for they are mine. Listen, and all are mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. And now, I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. I come to you, Kodesh Yahweh. Keep through thine own name those whom you gave me, that they may be one as we are. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in your name. Listen, those that you gave me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. Can you say plan?
Definitely plan.
So is John the scriptures, or is he talking about some other writing in Torah, some other writing of Yahweh's prophecy?
About some other writing.
Anybody else gonna say plan?
Plan.
He says, it sounds like a plan to me. He says, I've kept everyone except the one we talked about. I love the Bible. It is so fun for me. I know it's boring to y'all. I'm sorry. I should not get that excited, and y'all don't have that excitement yet. My bad. So forgive me if I've offended you by laughing and having fun with the Bible because I like it. That's the plan. The only one we lost was the son of perdition, so the plan could be fulfilled. Guys, the scriptures are the plan of Elohim in a myriad and multiplicity and ultimately all areas of life for the human being. That's what the scriptures are. They are the plan of Elohim. Thus, Jeremiah, I know my plans concerning you. My plans are of good, not of evil. Plans of good, not of evil. Plans to give you an expected end. So at the end of the day, like Prophet Mike is saying, yes, it's his plan. Now, are you saying, oh, so you mean that all this evil stuff that be happening, God be planning all evil? No. You got jokers who just making choices in your life to use you and abuse you. Now, can Yahweh elevate you through their ignorance, through their manipulation, through their control, through their efforts at being your enemy? He can. I'm not telling you that, oh, God planned all the evil to happen to me. Stop lying on me. I didn't say that. I'm not telling you that. But what I am saying, these two stories about these two villains, and I got more to give y'all on Wednesday, these two biblical villains are actually kingdom assets. We call them plants, Plants. Pharaoh's a plant, asset to deliver Israel out of Egypt, Yah's way. And Udis, the only way Messiah is getting to the cross is if someone who is close to him gives him up. Yahweh had this planned out a long time because Messiah was just another human on the earth. Anybody looking at him, anybody looking for him, that's all they would see. That's why the Bible says he had no form nor comeliness where we should desire him. Therefore, he was just commonly mixed into the people. He didn't have diamond eyeballs and gold ears for ears, and he didn't have, amethyst, hair, and he was common. They said, so that they could identify him, Udis had to go and kiss the man. They didn't even know, though they knew the group, they didn't know which man in the group was the man. They would have never been able to pick Yeshua out of a lineup unless Udis kissed him.
That has so much value, sir.
Prophet, it's all right there. We just read past it so fast. We just don't. We so nosy. We're trying to get to the next point, and oh, kill Judas. Oh, hang Judas. I'm glad he hung himself on a tree and fell down in Akaldama, and that's where he at. That's where he to get. You reap what you sow. I really believe Udis made heaven. Quite frankly, some of y'all gonna have an issue with this. I know it. My theologians and all of my Bible students in the whole world over who come from Oxford and Cambridge and all the different elated and elevated schools of higher learning. I know you're gonna have a problem with it, but Udis fulfilled his job. I don't know of one man who pleased the Father in getting his will done that didn't make heaven his home. It goes against the brain, don't it? Okay. See, that's why we don't deal with you, because you're just so subjective. You just eisegetical, Mr. Apostle, man. Yeah, okay. I respect your little education you got, but I don't think I don't think you got the right to say that. Because I don't like Judas. I know another person was here when I was talking about King David. I was like, I think this is the person on one of our broadcasts now. I think it might be a moderator, because I always talk about David for years, and this person was like, now, wait a minute. David was a murderer and he was an adult. What you mean, David? What you mean, David? No, David, the king could do what he wanted and could get away with it and ain't had to worry about nobody checking him. But David is a murderer in my book. Okay. It hits different when you read the writ and you know the storyline, not just the highlights. Remember, guys, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh, who is our Elohim. Prophet Mike, thanks for your sharing, your care, man. Appreciate you giving comments. Any other questions or thoughts you had, sir?
Man, I know, because if I get to talking, we're going to be here for a while, so I'm going to let it go.
Well, technically, I'm already past my time. I got 10 more minutes that I'm definitely going to be done with, but we got 10 minutes to discuss. If anybody else wants to share, maybe laugh with me about this or be like, you know what? I don't like when I'm learning with you because I learn too much. Or I think you're off base and we should never listen to you again. It doesn't matter what you say. You can tell it to me right here. I got real tough skin. But Prophet Mike, anything you want to share, talk about?
I just want to, I disagree with people if they feel like this is subjective, because it's not. And I think it's that's just that. But also, to ever look at this as being evil, I think it's not. You can't call Pharaoh evil, or you can't call Udis evil. I don't think that's an evil act. So I think we've been fed a narrative, like you said, for so long that it's just natural for us to just, like you say, villainize people, when in actuality, there was nothing evil about what Udis did. Actually, if you really look into the story, what did Pharaoh do that was actually evil? Besides say no, I'm not letting him go.
Right.
No, just saying no.
Because, and I want to make sure we clear it, because there's certain groups that see this differently. And they look at evil a different way and villainizing different way. What he did would be morally problematic. Was he evil? No. Pharaoh wasn't an evil man. Did he do stuff that would be classified morally as evil? Yes. Did Judas's betrayal, as it were, in his estimation and judgment, he felt he was conflicted. He felt a certain kind of way. He did what he did. Do we now, in hindsight, view that as breach of Torah, breach of morality code? Yes. Was he? No. But we villainize him, and people, this is why, and Prophet Mike, I know you understand this. We've had conversations in the past. People will take what you did and deem that you, and there are narratives out here and quotes out here today that people are living by that says you are what you do. I'm sorry, because I've done some stuff that I'm not. Well, you can't not be that if you're doing it. No, that's not true. Because what I did under that mindset at that time, that wasn't me. And then when I thought I could play with that fire, who can take fire into his bosom and not get burnt? I got burnt. So, as Prophet Mike is bringing out, it's like you can't call him evil. And what he did, though it was as a moral view wrong, he wasn't wrong because he did what he felt was right. Judas, in his actions, literally felt he, now thinking Yeshua was not who he thought Yeshua was, and don't know why he switched his mind on that, right? He goes to try and make it right with God. He just goes to the Pharisees, who are not as what he think God wants. They're not as what God wants, right? But they're in what God wants position. And he's like, we got to get him off the streets, because what do you want? Last straw. Dude got this girl in here rubbing his feet with her alabaster box. Man, look, I had enough. Last week he talked about eating people. I mean, bro, I don't know. Listen, I just don't want to be. I don't want to be wrong. I can only imagine Judas's issue in his mind. What do you want to get him off the streets? Give me something. I'll take him off the streets for you. I'll bring him to you. He thinks he's going to be delivering him to Elohim. Forget the fact that he heard Peter just call him the other day, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. He was right there when he was told, hey, who do men say I am, right? Hey, he heard all of that. He's seen the miracles. But in his mind, only Elohim can make your mind do that. Just like Pharaoh. Pharaoh's empirical data. I got plague after plague after plague after plague. There is proof your God can kick all our God's butts. Please take your people and leave. But Yahweh says, no, because I got a plan to show the world something, make this a teachable moment, and therefore I'm going to stop Pharaoh from doing what morally he would do and what he would do when he softens his heart. I'm going to keep it hard. I'm doing that. Judas is my son of perdition. I put a plan in play in Genesis 3:15. I'm going to send the seed of a woman. Miriam is your mama. That's the seed. You are the seed of that. You are the prophecy of that. There is also going to be a heralder named John who's going to come and blow the horn and prove that you are who Genesis 15 is and Genesis 22 talks about. And then I'm going to put a perdition because you got to get to the cross. You're going to be the lamb, but somehow we got to get you identified as the lamb. And John the Baptist did it. But when he's actually working as the lamb, I need somebody to identify the lamb amongst all the other sheep. So Judas, I'm going to have him point you out so you can get to the cross so the plan of salvation can be invoked. But we don't look at the Bible that way, do we? Prophet Mike, I'm sorry, man. That take up all the time.
Oh, no, please, because you're about to get no, let me stop while I'm ahead. No, sir.
He said, let me stop while I'm ahead.
Yeah.
Tell the wife I say happy belated birthday.
Yes, sir.
Y'all it don't sound like he gonna tell her, do it, y'all. That ain't sound too convincing, did it, y'all?
Oh man. Let me tell y'all, when it comes to me and my wife, he is biased. I'm gonna tell y'all now, he is biased. He is for Pastor Mary.
Pastor Mary!
I also want you to hear him say happy belated birthday.
That is Pastor Mary. I told him to tell you happy belated birthday, but it didn't sound like he was going to tell you because he just admitted he knows he mad because he know I'm biased.
See, they be double teaming me on our private chat. I'm gonna let y'all know. So it's cool though. Me and Miss Wanda gonna talk about it.
That's because we love you. We gonna take.
Right. We want to hear both sides. Right.
Happy birthday, Pastor Mary.
I'm gone.
What was you saying? You didn't.
It's a window opportunity. I'm gone.
I love it. All right. I'm going to get me a burger and some baked beans and potato salad in just a few moments. Someone had a question. Who was that? Who came off platform? Or Prophet Mike was speaking.
Wanda, sir.
Hey, Wanda.
Shalom, sir.
Alaikum shalom.
Thank you. We can answer it when we come back. It's in regards to Judas, and you just read it, the son of perdition. When he says, I only lost one. Now, I understand it. Many of us understand, but immediately when we hear that word lost, we go back into the default of church thinking, see, he went straight to hell.
Exactly.
He just said he lost him, so he went to hell.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come back and talk about it again, can we explain why? Because I know you said, I believe he's in heaven. But when we hear that word lost, we immediately think, see, he went to hell. Even Yeshua admitted it.
Mm-hmm. And that's not what that indicates. And you can even, that's another reason why you all need to have your concordances, guys. Look these words up as you're reading them. These key words help you to understand the vast definitions availed to that particular presentation. And this is a problem we have within Christendom. And if you know me, you know this ministry, we're going to always dig that thing out and find what it is. Many people like that shallow part because it seems to fit a quick answer. But Yahweh keeps telling you, search for me. If you search for me, you'll find me. Well, you're doing too much. Okay, right. You might not be doing enough. That's not being funny. It's just a fact. Because if we're using the wrong words in the wrong era, if we're using the wrong definition for a word because the era is different than the era we're in now, which happens, you don't get the intention of the author. And then you're in another language. Remember, your Bible was not written in Greek. Did it hit anybody why we're having half the Bible in Hebrew and the other half the Bible in Greek, when the whole Bible was written in Hebrew, except one book of the 66 books, which was written in Chaldean, which is a relative to Hebrew? Does anybody find that weird? Why is it that the book written in Hebrew is half translated by Hebrew in the concordance and half translated in Greek in the concordance? Does it make any sense to anybody but me? Because it don't make sense to me. It makes sense to me now that I know what we're dealing with, but that's the thing. You got to get the definitions of these words, and there are periods and eras, ERAs, of time that you have to incorporate idioms and colloquialisms and coin phrases and know it is what it is. And we don't like, we like to study the Bible, but we don't like to understand the Bible. So in all of our getting, let's get understanding. All right, guys, I got to go eat. One, a great point. Why don't you raise that question? Listen, guys, if y'all got questions for Wednesday, post them. Put them in the thread here right now. We will come back and answer those questions on Wednesday's Proceeding Word. And if you got ways to reach me directly, you know how to get in touch with me by whatever app you utilize, or if you have the ability to text me, you know how to get that to me. Or if you can't get it to Elder Page or get it to one of the moderators, put it on whatever platforms you have, and we will coagulate those questions and bring them all to bear on Wednesday's Proceeding Word. It's been my joy being with you guys. Remember, Memorial Day for the Americans is about honoring and remembering the souls and the cost, the ultimate cost that was paid for the great liberties that we have here in this beautiful country, though it has its own darkness, it has its own issues. And again, as an ADOS, an African descendant of slaves here in the United States, you might say, why would you say that? Well, based on what I know of other countries, all of them have used the same blueprint. America's just the latest to do it, and it's the youngest to do it in most cases. And therefore, none of this has changed. There's nothing new under the sun. And so in that concept, while we're living free and able to have rights to freedom of speech, as it were, rights to freedom of religion, rights to freedom of press, we need to honor those things. The democracy that we live in, contrary to the massive, blatant attack it's under right now by a very well constructed plan of multiple communities and nations to let democracy look as if it's bad and terrible. Everything has crooks, everything has thieves, everything has bad politicians, but democracy for the world is a beautiful scenario. And in truth, where we are right now at this stage, we probably wouldn't be who we are without that concept of democracy. Is there a monarchy that's better? There's only one, and that's when Messiah returns. Mankind cannot mimic the actual monarchy that Elohim, the dictatorship that Elohim has in plan for us as his kingdom. So the democracy is the best form I can see biblically and through other faith systems and other political structures that I've witnessed and have actually studied throughout our nations, our globes. America is a great place to live. It's got its issues, as any place else has. So today is a day that we literally pay homage to those who pay the ultimate price for the freedoms that we actually bear and have here in these United States of America. I do pray Elohim blesses every country, but as we say as a motto and a mantra here in the United States, may Elohim bless America. Well, this is the Proceeding Word. We are so glad to have you today, and I hope to get an opportunity to fellowship with you again in the very near future. Please feel free, if you want to find a way to support this ministry, please hit the support button by liking the page, hitting the subscribe button, get the bell so you get notified when we go live, make a comment in our thread, help our algorithm to move. And that's the greatest contribution you can give to the proceeding word. And we're so glad you're here. Hope you've been edified. Look to hear from you again soon. I am hungry as all get out. And I know I've taken you away from your barbecue grills if you are having those moments right now. So get back to them. Enjoy your carrot cake. Enjoy your red velvet and all your greens and the corn on cob. See, I'm getting hungry. I got to go. I got to find me some stuff to eat. I'll talk to y'all later. It's been an honor and a privilege to sit and pray with you. And I pray now this blessing on your life. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and be gracious unto you. May Yahweh lift his countenance upon you and grant you all 13 attributes of his shalom. Blessings. We'll see you again soon. Shalom Aleichem.
Truth, this is the place for you. Don't need to complicate it. It's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences. Let love heal all that's broken. This is the place for you. Don't need to complicate it. It's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word itself approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences. Let love heal all that's broken.